Right now, the two most powerful AI models ever built are just sitting there on servers. They are fully finished, they are fully tested. But you and I, we can't touch them. And for the first time in tech history, it's not because of a software bug or a corporate delay. It's because the US government stepped in. Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're unpacking a massive, secret intervention by Washington to literally pause the release of the world's most powerful tech. Let's get right into it. So, the White House actually went to OpenAI and explicitly told them to pump the brakes on the GPT 5.6 rollout. Instead of the massive global launch we were all expecting, access got locked down tight. As of right now, only about 20 hand-picked, government-vetted organizations actually have the keys to this model. And why? Well, it comes down to severe cyber and national security concerns. The administration isn't just politely suggesting caution anymore. They are throwing their federal weight around to make absolutely sure these tools don't fall into the wrong hands before Washington figures out what they can really do.
And hey, this definitely wasn't just an OpenAI problem. Take a look at Anthropic. Their flagship models, Fable 5 and the totally unrestricted Mythos 5, were literally pulled offline for 2 whole weeks by a federal directive. I mean, not just put on a wait list, completely shut off. This absolutely unprecedented move happened right after a super dire warning from the Five Eyes Intelligence Alliance. You know, the US, UK, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. They basically warned that these new models are essentially cyber weapons with a chat interface, capable of completely flipping offensive cyber warfare upside down in a matter of months, not years.
So how do you even react to this new federal referee? Well, in a move that honestly shocked everyone, OpenAI has reportedly proposed handing the incoming U.S. administration a 5% stake in the company. Just think about the strategic logic there for a second. If you can't beat the referee, put the referee on your payroll. By offering the federal government an actual invested stake, OpenAI is trying to turn their absolute biggest regulatory hurdle into a teammate, especially as they barrel toward a historic IPO.
But here's the crazy part. While Washington was stepping in and pausing all these releases, the entire scoreboard of the AI industry quietly flipped upside down. For 3 solid years, OpenAI was the undisputed king of revenue and usage, right? But recent corporate card data and projections show Anthropic has actually overtaken them in business subscriptions. Anthropic is now on track for a staggering $47 billion in annualized revenue, and they are projecting profitability by 2029, which is a full year ahead of OpenAI. Anthropic literally snatched the revenue crown right as both of these titans are racing toward massive public stock offerings.
But OpenAI isn't just sitting there. Their plan to strike back and reclaim that throne is hiding right in plain sight. Take a look at this leaked pricing strategy for GPT 5.6. You've got 3 tiers: Sol, Terra, and Luna. Now focus specifically on that middle row, the Terra model. It's priced at exactly $2.50 per million input tokens and $15 for output. Guys, that is not a random number. That is a calculated sniper shot, priced absolutely perfectly to undercut Anthropic's mid-tier dominance. OpenAI is basically flexing their massive infrastructure advantage to bleed their rivals on price.
So, in this trillion-dollar 2-horse race between OpenAI and Anthropic, we've got to ask the billion-dollar question. Where exactly is Google? Google DeepMind originally promised us their Gemini 3.5 Pro flagship back in June. Obviously, that didn't happen, and the internet instantly started doom posting that Google was just totally cooked. But the delay of Gemini 3.5 Pro to July 17th, it's not a sign of panic. It's actually looking like something much, much more calculated and honestly, potentially devastating to their competition.
According to insider leaks, DeepMind didn't just stumble. They deliberately scrapped the entire old 2.5 Pro base model. Gone. They used this extra time to execute a fresh, massive pre-training run, specifically targeting advanced mathematical reasoning and highly complex code output. They aren't just patching a leaky ship over there. This is a deliberate, ground-up strategic rebuild to make sure they don't just compete, but completely outmaneuver the raw scale of everyone else.
The really crucial point here is understanding what Google is actually building with that extra time. They're shifting away from your standard chatbot to what's called an orchestrator architecture. What does that actually mean for us? It means Gemini 3.5 Pro is designed to be a premium AI manager. It sits on top of and perfectly coordinates massive swarms of smaller, faster subagents like Gemini Flash. So it's not just answering a quick question, it's managing a massive token economy to solve incredibly complex, multi-step problems entirely autonomously.
And the leaked capabilities back this up 100%. We're looking at a massive 2 million token context window. That means it can remember and process entire libraries of books in a single go, which is double what the competition offers right now. It also features a specialized deep think reasoning layer that actually slows down to verify its own logic, plus highly polished SVG scene generation for flawless code-based visual design, and, this is huge, native integration directly into Workspace and Android. Google is taking this orchestrator and hardwiring it into the operating systems and productivity tools that billions of Americans already use every single day.
To really sum up this massive shift in the industry, there's a quote floating around among insiders that just hits the nail on the head. They say the chatbot era is fading out. The winner of this war will be the company that successfully builds the most omnipresent digital worker. We are officially moving way past the days of just asking a bot to draft a quick email. These new systems are being built to ingest a 100-page enterprise document, or run an entire software development pipeline over multiple days, without you ever having to hold its hand.
Now let's zoom out for a second, because this creates a massive global complication. While the American tech giants are busy battling each other and navigating all this red tape in Washington, China is moving at absolute lightning speed. China's open-weight model, GLM 5.2 from the startup Zhipu AI, is suddenly matching American frontier models on coding and agentic benchmarks, and they are doing it at a fraction of the cost. The technology gap that we used to measure in years has violently collapsed into literally just a few quarters.
So how did China close that gap so fast? Well, Anthropic just dropped an absolute bombshell. They're accusing Alibaba of executing the largest AI distillation attack ever detected. If you're not familiar, a distillation attack is basically when you teach your own model by harvesting and copying a superior model's outputs at an industrial scale. Anthropic claims Alibaba used roughly 25,000 fraudulent accounts to strip mine 29 million Claude conversations. I mean, they are quite literally copying America's homework at an unprecedented scale, which turns this whole tech race into a massive geopolitical scandal.
And here's where this global tech war hits incredibly close to home for us here in the US. Friday's Bureau of Labor Statistics report was just brutal. While tech companies are shoveling billions and billions into AI infrastructure, the US economy saw roughly 88,000 job cuts this year directly attributed to AI. That is the highest ever recorded job loss in American knowledge work. It is hitting entry-level coding, admin, and content support incredibly hard. The economic disruption we've all been talking about, it isn't coming anymore. It is already here on our shores.
Which brings us to this massive, looming paradox. Washington is super busy establishing permanent release standards and checkpoints to control AI's cyber and national security capabilities, right? But who is going to answer for AI's devastating economics? How does the US government reconcile working hand-in-hand with these frontier labs to secure military secrets, while those exact same products are rapidly eroding American entry-level jobs? It's an incredibly tricky economic tightrope, and it will absolutely define the upcoming policy fights in Congress.
All of these forces are about to violently collide in what we're calling the chaotic mid-July showdown. Just look at how this timeline stacks up. We are expecting the White House to announce their permanent standards any day now. At the exact same time, the broad rollout window for GPT 5.6 is slated between July 7th and 9th. Then, boom, on July 17th, Google drops the hammer with Gemini 3.5 Pro. And right behind all of that, in September and October, OpenAI and Anthropic begin their historic IPO roadshows. The entire industry is basically peaking at the exact same moment. Which leaves us with one final critical thought. What happens when the world's most powerful technology becomes permanently tied to Washington? The era of Silicon Valley moving fast and breaking things entirely on their own is officially over. The federal referee is now a permanent fixture on the field. So what do you guys think this means for the future of tech? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. If you found this explainer helpful and cutting through all the noise, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe so we can keep bringing you these deep dives. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.